Hello my juicy co-creators, Lilou here. I'm in beautiful windy Sedona, Arizona, actually 30 minutes outside of Sedona. And we're at the Sanctuary, which is an awesome place owned by Dean and Kelly. I started the tour pretty much here in this amazing landscape. You use worms a lot. Don't tell us about the magic of worms for the garden.
The worms are the shaman of the garden. And what they do, we bring all of our food scraps down here. And then we feed them to the worms. They turn into bacteria. The worms eat the bacteria, and then they excrete the worm casting, it's called, the worm poop. And worm poop is the most fertile, richest fertilizer that there is. So we're in the process here of, and we have another one of these things, of breeding worms, feeding them. They take all the stuff that would go into the landfill or go into regular compost, and then they excrete this amazing fertilizer that goes then back in the garden. And with it go the little worm eggs and the little worms, and they'll get in the garden. What worms do is they go around and they eat the bacteria from the base of the roots of the plant and get air and healthy stuff. So they really vitalize the soil. And so for us, this is like, we have so many cool things at the sanctuary. This is the coolest thing that we have in this whole desert, which are these worms. And so in here there are
check this out, guys.
Millions of them. And so you can see them all in here. We just moved them around actually today because we're harvesting our worm castings. But all of this stuff was all just sand and newspaper and really cruddy material. And now it's turned into this rich, fertile dirt. And so we're getting ready over there is all worm castings that we're getting ready to put into our garden. And so then that will nourish the plants, and the plants nourish us. And then we give back to the earth. It's such a mirror. You know, there's an expression as above, so below, and it's so true. The worm is mirroring exactly what we're doing. So we're helping people to transcend these old limiting things, all their junk, and turn it into good, vital life force energy. Turn it into their juice, you know. And the worms are our model for doing that.
And you are passionate about your worms. You even had a little bit of a challenge there for some time. They wouldn't breed because you spent so much time with them.
We have actually, there's a guy, Merle the worm guy, who's famous in the Verde Valley. And so Merle, he took a liking to us and knew that we didn't know what we were doing. So he came out here, and he's been here to visit us many times. And so the worms, you have to just leave them alone because the worms need the right mood. They need the right settings so they can connect and breed. So if you're always down here messing with the worms, it's kind of like people.
Fair enough.
They don't get in the mood, and then they don't procreate in the same way. So if you're going to have a worm farm, you got to feed them and leave them alone, and that's what we've done. And so the worms here are very happy, and they're going to make our soil happy. And so really, the garden, you've heard a lot about it. This garden this year has taken off. The soil has enough now micronutrients in it. The soil now has enough energy to explode the plants. And so I've watched it happen. It's interesting to see the progression, and then all of a sudden it has enough kind of critical mass, and it's taking off. So if we can do it here, people can do it anywhere. And I think that in addition to being a healing place, the sanctuary is it's going to be I don't know, it's some kind of vision for the future. So we're getting back to nature. And so many times what people need right now is to get back to nature. Get back to nature, get back to your own nature. There's so many things and so much disconnection from each other, from the earth, from the natural cycles of things. So to be reminded of the guests, they come and they'll dig in the garden for a little bit to know where food comes from.
Oh, they do? That's great.
They do. And so many people go to the supermarket, you know, where does this food come from? We don't even know. We're so busy that we don't even think about it. And we just assume that it just shows up, you know, where's food come from? Well, it comes from the supermarket. And
then we wonder why we feel empty and unfulfilled. And
you know, there's something about the sacredness of food and the sacredness of the garden. And one thing that I've been really keen on is the fact that we're losing the sacredness of of the food, of different things. When we look at the way that cattle are treated on the feedlots and the way that food now is being gene spliced with other species, and it's like we're taking the soul out of it when we do all that. And so for us in our own little corner of the world to put the soul back into the earth, put the soul back into ourselves, into the community, that's where the healing happens. You know, we're needing to remember our own vitality and our own soul's journey, and when we do, it's amazing how all of our problems seem to just fall away. And that's, I don't know how we got on that, but anyway, back to the worms.
That is amazing, and I'm sure a lot of people watching right now can really relate and really get fed inside, you know, from the inside. It's soulful conversation. It's perfectly aligned with the worms.
Yeah, feeding the soul. Everything that we do here is about feeding the soul. And so when you have good food that's made with love, everybody that's watching this knows about Water and Emoto's work. Well, our food is made of water. So if you're cooking your food and you're not feeling so good about it and you're putting a lot of heavy energy, well, you're turning right around and eating that low vibration. And this is now understood. It's not that it's a question anymore, that we have to convince anybody of this. It's commonly understood with this expansion of consciousness that water has consciousness and food has consciousness, and so we're beyond wondering whether that's in fact true or not. Now it's how do we do it? So we all know this is
time to apply it. Yeah, let's get practical.
Yeah, we all have heard these things, and the question is, how do we make it our own? And if we can't embody our own healing, if we can't embody our own journey, if we can't take responsibility and do something with it, then it's just philosophy. It's just a nice conversation over coffee when our lives don't change. Yeah. And that's really the great gift on what's happening on the planet now, is that we're either going to embody it or we're going to be suffering. And so, you know, the choice is yours. You can either be on an amazing journey of exploration and new, exciting things happening, or we can be hunkered down in fear over the weather and the earth changes and all that's going on. You know, the earth is going through a process right now. That's also undisputed. And the question is, if we get in alignment with her, then we're going to go through the change with her. If we're not in alignment with her, she's going to change. And whether we're here or not is really a choice that we're making right now. And when you're going around and interviewing people and sharing that and helping people to wake up, you're helping them to decide which part of the change which side they want to be on. So thanks for that.
Thank you, Dean, and thank you for sharing your intuition, you know, about this and opening us your garden and home and beautiful heart. Thank you.
Oh, thank you guys.
Thank you.